guys, it's Sabrina. I told you that I was thinking about making a little video series for my girls so they have something to look back on when I am dead and gone in case they have questions about things. So the first thing, since I am in the yard, the first thing I'm going to do is talk to you about some outdoor flower stuff, okay? So I learned how to turn my phone around while I'm filming, so aren't y'all going to be proud of me? Ta-da! Okay, so let me tell you first about little Willa here. Willa is my beautiful weeping willow tree here. We had like an oak here that was really, old, and a storm got it, and so we had to cut it down. And some good friends of mine, Gary and Angie Fontana, when my daughter got married, they had this little baby in a pot, and I was like, oh, I love willows, and she said, take it. So little baby Willa is growing up. Isn't she pretty? I love to see it all. Anyway, okay, so this is my front yard. Please excuse this monstrosity of our camper right here. We are doing some work on it right this minute. It is going to live in the backyard, fingers crossed, very soon. Okay, so when I first moved here, we did not have anything as far as stuff that I liked up in the front. So what we did, we added in the back some of these taller, it's some type of boxwood. I can ask my mother-in-law. She is really good with plants and helped me figure this all out years ago. But we added that in the back, and then I wanted like something bright, and so I got these little nandinas, and they stay low and they're going to get kind of bushy, okay? And I did that pretty much on the same side. Okay, so I have them here. And these guys are not as big as the other side. They are the same type of nandina, but I think these are more in the direct sun in the afternoon, which is why these guys over here do better. You see my grandson's soccer ball. He's always kicking a soccer ball. So that was the first thing I did. The next thing that I did was I got this little holly tree. I love hollies. Yes, I know it's crooked. We got to figure that out. And I made the mistake of planting it too far out in the bed. So I'm going to extend this bed so it won't be out here, or move it in. I'm not sure yet. But I got this little guy, okay. And then the next thing I did, unfortunately, my sweet daddy passed away, and my mother-in-law bought me another holly tree to kind of think about my daddy. And this one is really pretty in the wintertime. It has these beautiful red berries on it. But this is not close to the landscaping, so I digress. Okay, so then I love jasmine, and so I got this, and I want this. My son-in-law is a machinist, and he made me this beautiful, trellis type thing for my little jasmine. Can't see it much, but he is so talented. Anyway, what I want to do is grow my jasmine along here, okay? I think that will be so pretty, but you got to train it. I made the mistake of cutting it back. The first one that I got, I cut it back that winter, and it died, okay? So then I bought another one. I mean, he was a little bitty fella, like way down here when I bought him, and he's grown. So this is a hardy thing to do, and let me tell you something. I can literally walk up my steps and I smell, oh, it just smells so wonderful. Okay, so My ferns are on the steps because I was literally letting them get some of that rainwater, and I just haven't moved them back yet. But these are Kimberly Queen ferns. Typically when you go like Lowe's or somewhere, they have Boston ferns. Kimberly Queen take the sun a little bit more, and you don't get that burnt edges as much. So I have Kimberly Queens in pots, and I planted a little geranium in here to give me a little pop of red. Well, this one didn't, I mean, it's there, but he didn't do too much. So I went and bought this weekend, and I'm going to put that on the side. Okay. And then I always have hanging baskets. And so I don't know if you guys remember, but I just got these from Lowe's, not Lowe's, what is the name of that new, it is Lowe's Foods, isn't it? The new one in Winterville. Anyway, these guys were outside in the sun, marked down on clearance. I got this one and this one for $7 and some change. And look at them. I mean, they're gorgeous. Okay, so you can grow your ferns. Okay, but I always have ferns hanging up on my porch. I just think that's pretty. And these are, so then I wanted some color in my beds. Okay, so I went to Lowe's. Now listen to me. I always go to the clearance rack and find the little plants that are marked way down. Okay, so I went to Lowe's and I got, these are impatiens and begonias, and I just mixed them all together. That's a begonia. This little fella needs some help. Impatiens. Did the same back here. You know, you can see they're not doing that great. So, you know, some of them do okay. I'll probably add something to these guys. And I planted them all along this bed and just through here. Now, these are annuals. And so what that means is at the end of the summer, they're going to die. They're not going to come back. Okay? Which is okay. I know that. I like to buy just cheap little pops of color in the spring, put them out for the summer, and I'm okay with that. I forgot to tell you about this, okay? So, I don't even remember what was here when we bought this house. It was not something that I liked, but I tried gardenias, little gardenias out here. They did not do well. And so then, because these little nandinas did good, I told my children, I think for Christmas one year, I'm like, hey, get me some nandinas for Christmas and I'll put these out. Well, they got a different variety, which is okay. And look at this guy. Get out of there. Which is okay. But they're kind of a chartreuse green, okay? And this nandina you see is a darker green, and it gets the pretty burgundy. These do have berries that come, and they have done real well out here. This one is getting a little bit bigger, not sure why, but I keep it kind of cut down to match the other ones. And then we have this guy, and honest to God, when I bought this, I thought it was a Rose of Sharon. Turns out it was a Lily of the Valley. Lily of the Valley is fine, just not my favorite. Rose of Sharon, beautiful. So I'm going to dig him up and move him and put a Rose of Sharon right here. Now, I did add the tree, okay? Let me tell you about this. When my mama died, before my mama died, I was at her house, and I was like, Mama, you know, I want something from your house to put in my yard. She had this little tree, and I thought it was pretty, and it really is gorgeous in the fall. And I planted it, and it became this. And this thing is not joking. All of these are from the tree. Look, I can't keep up with it. Like, all of that are these little, I don't know if you can see it with, it's the tree, okay? The tree has got to go. It's starting to get up in my, I don't like that. So I'm probably going to end up taking this out. It's just too close to the house. These are some lilies that, you know, they're just the kind beside the road. They grow like crazy. I am constantly having to take out the little ones because I don't want it to be too like bushy up here. So I would not recommend this variety. If you like lilies, I would get the different one, but they are pretty. Look, isn't that pretty? This is like a my daggone mind. I think about it. It's a pretty purple flower when it blooms. Okay, I put hostas out here just because at the time, you know, I didn't have a lot of money and I had a bunch of hostas all over the back. Don't put hostas in the full sun. They don't go in full sun. Right now, they look okay because we're not in the crazy heat of the summer and we've had a lot of rain. But these things, by the end of the summer, they do not look very good, honey. So don't put them in the sun. They are a shade-loving baby. So, my other plant, this is just something that I bought from Lowe's, but this is verbena, and I love verbena. This is a perennial, so it will come back. Beautiful. Wait a minute. This might be lantana. I think this is lantana. It is also. It'll come back. Just pretty. These are some geraniums. Look, I got all of this. There's like 4 geraniums in here for $10 on the clearance rack. So I'm gonna split them up and put them in different places. Okay. Moving right along to the side. So I'll show you my phlox, P-L-O-X, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I found this one. This one is a pretty pink one. And then I've got some dahlias out here. I bought this pretty bush from the Pitt Community Horticulture Department. Had a plant sale. And this one has grown pretty. And then I planted some lantana over here, but I bought this. Isn't this beautiful? So let me show you the card. This is called a bougainvillea, and I got this at a nursery in like Newport, Moorhead on 24. It's called Friendly Market. It was normally $50. Is that right? I think there's a tag on it somewhere. But anyway, it was normally $50 and I got it half price. And then I have some more dahlias down here, but I don't know. I really wanted to put this here and then have a trellis because this guy's going to climb up that trellis. But he loves sun and dry. And as you can see, there's the sun and he ain't in it over here. So I might have to rethink that. But, you know, this is where my gas meter is. And there's just not, I'm trying to fix this side of the house now. We do have some drainage issues, and unfortunately right through here is very wet. I need to put a French drain in here, you know, I tried to cut my grass today, made a mess, but all this recent rain, I've literally got some water standing. So I need to put a French drain in here. And then I've got a pretty little Japanese maple down there. This guy's got to come down. It's some kind of old pear tree, but unfortunately he's rotten. So he's got to come down. Anyways, hang on. Let me open this gate. Got to work on this. So, backyard. So the phlox or whatever you say, look there. This is what it does, guys. I bought a small little one. Remember this guy over here, the pink one? Okay, that is the same thing as this. But through the years, it's a perennial. Through the years, it's going to come back bunchy and get, I mean, just gorgeous. It's laying down some right now because of all the rain. Okay. This is a sweet spire bush. Butterflies like it. I brought this back from the mountains. This is allium. He's going to have some pretty purple flowers. It's like some type of onion grass. And this baby right here. So, this is the clematis that I brought from my mama's house. And I call her Betty Francis. That was my mama's name because she does not like to be messed with, just like my mama. If I came in here and tried to like get rid of some of that, no. She will turn brown and look like she's just about dead. But let me show you. So it grows. So I have another little trellis. And this is what the blooms look like. But when they bloom, so pretty. This is some lantana. I actually got this from a bed at the school that I used to teach at. I just broke a little piece off, brought it home with me. This comes back every year. It's a perennial. It started as a small little amount. So if you're looking for something that will get big and bunchy like this, lantana. Look at it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So, this is just a little hanging basket that I got. We'll talk about that in a minute. So those purple flowers that I was telling you about, what I did was dig some up and decided to plant them here. So this, as you can see, this shop has got to be, it's got to be fixed. Anyway, I don't even want to. So for right now, I was trying to make it look a little bit better. And look how they grew. I mean, these things just do this by themselves, okay? Now let me show you. My husband built me these little boxes, vegetable boxes. And of course, I had to paint it and put a little bit of Sabrina on it. Isn't that so cute? But so in here, I've got squash, and it's going crazy. I've already brought in, look, you can see. I've already brought in some squash. I've got some different tomato plants. You can see this one is slower. These are sandwich tomatoes, and it's not as... these are strawberries. And I haven't seen any strawberries, but I think the flowers are pretty. See, I got tomatoes coming. They're all in there. And then me and my grandson planted some sunflowers. You know, aren't they pretty? I read somewhere, saw a video that you just leave them alone and then we can take the seeds and use them. But my backyard is a work in progress. So we got to replace the fence because at least some different panels. You can see like that one is, and the gate, not good. Let me tell you about my little barn here. Most of y'all would say, tear that thing down. But this was my daddy's little barn. My daddy was 96 years old when he passed about 2.5 years ago. And he spent a lot of time in this little barn, and I wanted to have it moved to my house. Yes, it needs a complete what I've already spent to move it here, Lord, we could have bought a new one. But my husband has promised me he's gonna fix this little barn. And y'all, this is where I mean, when I say it is full of decor, wreaths, wreath making stuff, ribbon, flowers, like, as you can see, I ain't joking. So my butt's got to get out here and get a handle on this, but it ain't gonna be today, okay? But yeah, this fella, both of my children are like, Mom, that barn looks terrible. I know it does, but it was my daddy's. Now, I'm being real honest with y'all today. Oh, and look at this little fire pit. Kevin built this little fire pit, and it needs some work. My nephew works at Main on Mill, not my nephew, my cousin. And anyway, he's an oyster shucker or whatever. I mean, kind of runs the place, I think. But I thought about oyster shells around here, and that's so cute. I need a bunch more. My little daddy built this for me, and it needs to be replaced. The carpenter bees have tore it up. And then we have this vine. Okay, this is honeysuckle. I love honeysuckle vines. So the plan is for this guy to kind of grow over the fence. Okay, so yeah. And these are the little plastic Adirondacks, y'all. I have painted these things about 5 times. It is time to throw them in the trash. But, you know, I'll put one more coat of black on them maybe for this summer. They'll be all right. You know, I'm just not worried about it. This is just a tree I dug up in the woods back there. I just wanted something here. It's been here for like 2 years. This was much prettier before the rain. It was just a seed pack from Dollar Tree. All kinds of pretty stuff in there. But this is another problem. So you can see this is a French drain we put in. We got them all over the yard. But we've got all this property that goes all the way back. You can see through there how it's cleared. Goes back to the canal. The plan is this fall, and I will bring you along on this journey, but to hire, my son's got some people he knows, and clear this out. And I'm not talking about the big beautiful trees, but all this undergrowth and stuff. I want it gone, and then I want to finish putting the fence back like it is on the rest of the yard. Okay, and just make this a nice little area that we could come and, I don't know, sit some chairs out here or something, because it's so peaceful and cool back here. But like the trees have literally made like almost like a canopy. It's too much for me to come back here and try to do. And then, you know, the recent torrential rain that we had just caused all kinds of problems. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to be back here right now. We got to wait till winter time. Anyway, so this area of the yard is obviously wet because the trees and everything, and it's got moss growing and ground cover growing, which I think is kind of pretty. Anyway, that's just my thought. Okay, let's talk about the deck. So the deck is too small. Paul, when he moved, his new house had a screen-in porch, so he gave me his little pergola here, which is cute, but we want to expand the deck out, which means I'm gonna have to move my lantana. That's why I haven't really planted anything else, because we're gonna tear this down and expand it out. Not quite sure what that's gonna look like yet, but it needs to have, like, we got a lot of work to do on the deck. It obviously needs to be replaced. Okay, so we'll do that. I want to do stepping stones that go all the way here to the garage. There's slate out here. I want to put white rock all. So I want this whole area to be slate, stepping stones, white rock. What do y'all think? And then we have this very low area. You can see in the trees, we got the old garage on this side. We do have a little patio. I do my best with it to try to make it. Planted some hostas back here. But, you know, probably this guy is going to have to come down. I just don't know about that. Kevin built this little triangle type thing for my daughter's wedding. She wanted to get married in front of it, and she liked the triangle, so I think she's gonna come get this. But he hung me some lights. But this will be good for like a lean-to on a barn. It would already have the concrete or add to it when we decide to bring the camper back. Again, you see we got chain link on the side too. So this needs to be wood. Really what I want is a nice vinyl fence back here. The other thing is we got to have some dirt brought in, because if you look, you see the yard, and then back here it kind of slopes down. So we need some dirt to fill in. Kevin built this to put my HVAC on so it's not sitting on the ground, but I do want some pretty lattice around it. You know, make it look good. And I said my deck is old. This pretty table and chairs was Kevin's grandparents. And so we definitely wanted to hang on to this. Got a pretty little clematis up here. Look at the flowers, isn't it so pretty? Got it off the clearance right, y'all. He looked like he was about dead, but I started taking care of him. Here's some of my little Adirondacks. Plastic, of course. Need new doors here. Again, got to fix this. See, the grill is just humongous with the table on this. It's just too small. So all of these are things that we're going to do, but you know, it takes time and money, and when you're kind of short on both, you do little things. So I would say you came in kind of at the beginning, and stick with me and I'll show you as it progresses. So this is the yard. It's June of 2025, and hopefully by next spring it'll be there. So bye for now, guys.